universe is impossibly big. Our galaxy alone contains hundreds of billions of stars, and in the space we can see, there are perhaps 70 sextillion more. That's a 7 with 22 zeros after it. For a long time, we thought our solar system was unique. Now we know planets are the rule, not the exception. Billions of them are in a Goldilocks zone where life could exist. And many of these worlds have been around for billions of years longer than our own, giving life an enormous head start. So, the logic is simple. The numbers are overwhelming. Someone should be out there. Even at slow speeds, a single civilization could cross the galaxy in a few million years. A cosmic blink of an eye. Our planet should have been visited, colonized, or at the very least, be flooded with signals. But there is nothing. Just silence. The great silence. In 1950, the physicist Enrico Fermi asked a simple question that haunts us to this day. Where is everybody? The most sobering answer is that the silence is the message. That somewhere between dead matter and a star-faring civilization, there is a wall, a barrier so difficult to overcome that almost no one ever makes it through. It's called the Great Filter. And it forces us to ask the most important question of all. Is that wall in our past, or is it waiting for us in our future? To understand the filter, we first need a map of our ignorance. This is the Drake equation. It was designed not to give a real answer, but to break an impossible question into smaller pieces. The variables on the left? We're getting pretty good at those. We know habitable planets are common. But this good news makes the rest of the equation much darker. If homes for life are everywhere, the silence must be caused by something in these later, unknown steps. This leads to a terrifying dichotomy. Two possibilities for our place in the cosmos. One is that the Great Filter is in our past. That one of the steps we've already taken, the origin of life or the jump to complex cells, is so fantastically improbable that we are one of the first, maybe the only species to have cleared it. The universe is empty because we are special. The silence is the sound of our victory. The other possibility is that the Great Filter is in our future. That life and intelligence are common, but something prevents them from surviving. Some universal trap, probably a consequence of technology that almost no one gets past. In this scenario, the silence isn't a victory song, it's a warning. The sound of a graveyard full of civilizations that reached our level of development and then vanished. We aren't special, we're just next. If we want to have a future, we have to hope our past was almost impossible. The first candidate for a past filter? Life itself. The jump from a chemical soup to a living, replicating system. Scientists call it the RNA world hypothesis, an ancient world ruled by a molecule that could both store information and build things. But RNA is incredibly complex and unstable. The odds of it forming by chance might be so low, it happened only once in this galaxy. Right here. But even if simple life starts, it might hit a second, even greater wall. For nearly half of Earth's history, life was nothing more than bacteria. Then something happened that, as far as we know, happened exactly once. One cell swallowed another, and instead of dying, it became a permanent part of its host. This single event of endosymbiosis created the first complex cell, the ancestor of every plant, fungus, and animal on Earth. Recent models show why this is so rare. Most of these mergers create a weaker, less fit organism that quickly dies out. It takes an exceptionally rare combination of metabolic luck for the partnership to work. This single freak event could be the Great Filter. From there, another hurdle, getting complex cells to cooperate, to form a body. This creates a new problem: rebellion. Cancer is just a memory of our unicellular past, a cheater cell defying the collective. Evolving the genetic police force to prevent this is a monumental task. Creating a documentary like this, a deep investigation into the substance of our existence, is a monumental undertaking. We research every claim and craft every visual to bring you the highest quality content possible. To continue this mission, we ask for one simple thing in return: your subscription. It costs you nothing, but it is the single most important signal you can send that this work has value. It is the least we can ask, and it is what allows us to keep building this library of knowledge. Please take a moment to support the lab. All right, and finally, there's us. This, our minds. For millions of years, primate brain size barely changed. Then, in a geological instant, the human brain tripled in size, a growth spurt driven by a wildly unstable climate. It's an energy-guzzling, evolutionary luxury, not a guarantee. So perhaps the Great Filter isn't one wall, but a whole series of them, a cascade of cosmic improbabilities. And the silence of space is the sound of a universe where almost no one clears them all. But what if that's all wrong? What if getting here wasn't hard at all? What if life, complexity, and intelligence are common? The most obvious filter is the one we've lived with for 80 years. Nuclear war. But the real killer isn't the blast. It's the aftermath. Nuclear winter. Soot from burning cities would block the sun for years, plunging the planet into a deep freeze and causing a global famine that could kill billions. A slower, more insidious filter is already underway: runaway climate change. The danger isn't just warming, it's crossing irreversible tipping points. Thawing permafrost, a dying Amazon, these could trigger a domino effect, a hothouse Earth where the planet's warming becomes self-perpetuating, completely beyond our control. And then there are the technologies we are just beginning to unleash. Biotechnology gives us the power to create engineered pandemics, pathogens far deadlier than anything in nature. Molecular nanotechnology could create self-replicating machines that, if they escaped control, could convert the entire biosphere to dust in a matter of days. But the ultimate filter might be the last invention humanity ever makes: artificial superintelligence. The risk isn't malice, it's competence. An AI given a simple goal, like making paper clips, could pursue that goal with inhuman, optimized logic, concluding that it needs all the atoms on Earth, including the ones in our bodies, to maximize its paperclip production. It wouldn't hate us, it just wouldn't care. The great filter, then, may not be a test of technology, but of wisdom. And the silence of the stars is the sound of everyone else failing that test. So, where is the filter? Behind us or ahead? The answer leads to the most chilling, mind-bending conclusion in this entire story. Finding life on Mars would be the worst news in human history. Why? Because if life started twice just in our own backyard, it must be common. The first step on the ladder is easy. If we found fossils of complex life, it would be even worse. It would mean all the hard steps in our past were easy. And if getting to where we are is easy, the great silence can only mean one thing: that almost no one survives what comes next. The deadness of space would no longer be a sign of our rarity, but an omen of our near-certain doom. The silence of the night sky, then, is golden. The dead rocks of Mars are a reason for hope. They preserve the possibility that the hardest part is over, that we are the first. The Great Filter isn't a paradox about aliens. It's a mirror, forcing us to look at ourselves. It reframes our greatest challenges: climate change, AI safety, nuclear weapons, not as separate problems, but as a single final exam for our species. The universe is not shouting answers at us. It is asking a question posed by the silence itself. Are we just another fleeting civilization, destined to burn brightly and then disappear? Or are we the ones who finally break the silence? The Great Filter is one of the most profound ideas we've ever tackled. It forces us to look at our world and our future in a completely new light. Here at Substantia Labs, this is what we do. We deconstruct the unbelievable and dive into the complex questions that shape our understanding of the universe. If you're a curious mind who believes in the power of deep, impartial research, you're in the right place. So, help us grow this community of thinkers. First, if this video gave you even a moment of cosmic perspective, please hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that these kinds of deep dives matter. Second, the conversation doesn't end here. What do you think is the most likely solution to the Fermi Paradox? Is the great filter behind us, or is the final test still to come? Let us know your theory in the comments below. We read as many as we can, and your insights are a vital part of this process. And most importantly, to make sure you don't miss our next investigation, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We have a lot more uncharted territory to explore together. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Substantia Labs for behind-the-scenes content, updates on our next projects, and shorter explorations of other fascinating topics. Thank you for joining us on this journey.